entrepreneurs, they have to build the teams, right? They have to convince the investors, and they have to work with other people. So actually, they have to trust the people. Yeah, so without the trust, it will be very difficult or challenging for them to get the people to join their visions, right? To build the next big thing.
If you ask 100 students today what they want to be, a surprising number will say, I want to build a startup. But if you ask 100 founders what it actually feels like, you'll get a very different answer. So let's start from there. Welcome to another episode of School to Startup, brought to you by Tracxn, a private market intelligence platform that's been supporting the global university ecosystem for over 12 years. Through our university partnerships, we work with institutions driving innovation and entrepreneurship, and this series highlights the academic leaders making that happen. I'm Harish, your host today, and joining us is Dr. Claire, Senior Lecturer at Nanyang Business School, Nanyang Technological University, whose work sits right at the intersection of digital technology and entrepreneurship. Dr. Claire, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Claire, I was reading about your research on how entrepreneurs build and lose trust faster than non-entrepreneurs. Are entrepreneurs professionally bad at trusting people, or just really fast at recovering from the bad decisions?
I guess it's a bias towards entrepreneurs. Yeah, so actually, because entrepreneurs, they have to build the teams, right? They have to convince the investors, and they have to work with other people. So actually, they have to trust the people. Yeah, so without the trust, it will be very difficult or challenging for them to get the people to join their visions, right? To build the next big thing. So I guess there may be a miss that has to be cleared, yeah, by the public, yeah, towards the impression about the entrepreneurs. Yeah, of course, we may see some of the cases, right? The individual entrepreneurs, and that they may have the difficulties of trusting people, but the majority of them, yeah, actually, in practice, they actually have to do that.
Interesting. So what pulled you into studying entrepreneurship so deeply in the first place? Was there a moment where you realized, I don't just want to study this, I actually want to shape how people become entrepreneurs?
I guess I was drawn into this discipline because of the job that I applied at the Nanyang Technological University back in 2015. Yeah, so at that time I graduated from my PhD studies, and I was looking for the research projects that I want to work on. And actually, I come from a technological background, yeah, studying about information technologies. Yeah, but at that time, I saw this advertisement and studying, the startups and also starting the SMEs, yeah, business owners. It is kind of at the intersection between the information technologies and entrepreneurship. So I applied for that position and the research fellow position at Nanyang Business School. And I was so fortunate that I had the opportunity to have the close interactions with Singaporean business owners and startup founders. And I found it was fascinating. So from there, I decided, yeah, so it is a field that I'm interested. And I do see the impact as well, especially in entrepreneurship education, by having the lecturer in the field for a few years. I do see the power of entrepreneurship education, of developing the students, the mindset, the skills and knowledge that does not only, promote entrepreneurship as the possible career path, but also they can use this entrepreneurial knowledge, skill, and capabilities in even working as an employee in a large corporations or the well-established companies. So especially nowadays with the faster moving technologies, geopolitical tensions between the countries. So I guess a very essential capability that every individual has to equip themselves with is about the willingness to take challenges, to be adaptive and to be agile, and learn fast as they can.
Interesting. You also study how technology and entrepreneurship intersect. So, what are the technologies right now that look overhyped, but might actually become foundational for startups in the next few years?
Yeah, so I guess there are multiple technology has a potentials, right? So of course, we know that artificial intelligence is currently at the hype. Yeah, but actually it's not just about building the fundamental models, the large language models, but more in the applied AI solutions. Yeah, because we see that the AI can be has a potential to transform a vast majority of the industries, such as finance, education, healthcare, logistics, and so on, right? So I guess that there are a lot of opportunities in this space, like combining AI with the industry-specific context. And also, nowadays, everyone is talking about sustainability, and also collectively, we human beings, right, have to address this kind of climate change issues. So if you're working on, so for example, climate tech or the sustainability solutions like carbon management, energy efficiencies, green finance, and so on, also has a lot of potentials. And also Singapore, because we are now facing this kind of aging society, with the populations getting older and older. Yeah, so I guess that the solutions, especially with the technology, integrated into the healthcare systems like digital health or the personal medicines, right? Yeah, so this kind of space or the areas are also very promising. So I believe all of these are the promising areas. Yeah, we may have to focus on.
Right. And talking about Singapore, Singapore is often seen as the incredibly efficient, well-supported startup ecosystem. But if we zoom in, where are founders actually struggling the most right now?
Yeah, so you're right. Yeah, Singapore actually is a very good place to start a business, and it has a very supportive ecosystem, especially from the government's policies and even from the educational landscape and even the VCs, right? The fundings are there, but it does not mean that the local startups everything is so smooth. Yeah, they still face a number of challenges. So, for example, because we are a red dot on the map, right? Yeah, small island and state city. So because of the small population, so we have a small domestic market. So that is a challenge that many of the startups face, especially if they want to scale up. Yeah, and also another one is that I guess for all the early stage startups, they face the challenge is about the talents. Yeah, it's really difficult to attract the talents nowadays, with the AI specialists, and they're competing because the startups are competing with the MNCs, right? The large software companies, and they have the money to buy the talents, but the startup, they have the limited resources. So they must find ways to, navigate these kind of challenges. So I guess that to overcome these challenges, the startup may need to have this kind of a global mindset. Yeah, targeting the global market for consumers, for investors, for talents. Yeah, so via this approach, I believe that the startup have a lot of potential to grow in the international markets.
Very interesting. And talking about funding and investors, which every student romanticizes, what's one thing founders or student founders misunderstand about raising their first round?
Yeah. So the first round, right? So it's really about, of course, it is about your ideas, but actually the most important thing is how the investors understand, right? Understand yourself, understand your team, understand your product, and also your vision. So it is, the founders' responsibilities to help the investors to reduce the perceived risks. Yeah, for them, because the investor invest in the startup because they want to have the high return on investment, right? Yeah, so at the seed stage, many investors actually they understand your ideas, even your product, your business models, may evolve, may change along the process, right? With the, because in the very early stage and that they are still trying to find the good product market fit. Yeah, so with all these kind of uncertainties, so what can the founders do? So the founder should demonstrate, right? Yes, there are risks about the team, about the product, about the future, but we are here to demonstrate that we have the capability, we have the skills, and we have the, the commitment. Yeah, and also the commitment attitude is also very important. Yeah, so reflecting what I just said earlier, right? So it is the founder's responsibility for reducing this kind of perceived risk from the investors. And also for the founders, right? Don't wait until you need the money, until you're reaching the end of your runway, right? So you should start early. Yeah, and also it's important to consider the whole process as a relationship building process. Yeah, so start the conversation early on, building the trust, yeah, with the investors, right? So when the time is right, and probably this is the time for you to make the ask. Yeah.
Right. And how about investors? What actually make an investor trust a first-time founder?
I guess it really varies, right? The different investors, they have different strategies of selecting the project. Some may care more about the teams, and others really look at the business models, whether you have a solid business models. Yeah. So I guess it really depends. Yeah.
Interesting. And zooming out a bit on universities, universities are no longer just about degrees, right? So they are becoming startup ecosystems. But honestly, are we overestimating how entrepreneurial universities really are?
I guess that we must head towards that direction, right? Because that is the direction that we need to move towards. So I do see that global-wise, internationally, the major universities, yeah, are trying to bring, the student ventures and push them towards the commercialization side. And I do see, as I mentioned earlier, right, the power of entrepreneurship education. Yeah, so it's not just about teaching them the knowledge, yeah, more about the mindset shift, yeah, and also the capability building. And those are the skills can be applied, not just limited to the startup context, but also to a broader, yeah, context. Even, nowadays we have the, public entrepreneurship, right? Yeah, practicing exercising the entrepreneur skills in the public sector, and we have the cooperative entrepreneurship. We see a lot of hybrid entrepreneurs, right? Yeah. So I do believe in the power of entrepreneurship education, and I think that the universities should head towards that direction.
Perfect. And how about NTU? What are you doing differently that actually working?
Yeah, so maybe I give you some background. So NTU, we have this NTU Innovation and Entrepreneurship Office, I&E office. And under this office, we have two arms. One is Intuitive. Yeah, so basically about the IP licensing, about commercialization, and really, focusing on the spin-offs and the spin-outs. Yeah, and the other arm is education. So this is the place where I reside. Yeah, it's called the NTU Entrepreneurship Academy, Entrepreneur for short. Yeah, so since so actually we are making efforts to bridging the two spaces, right? Yeah, channeling the students, from the undergraduate programs, and if their ideas become more mature, we push them to the other side, Intuitive, and to further help them to develop and to commercialize in the market. So actually, since last year, we started a new initiative. It's called the Student Venture Building. Yeah, so we pull the resources from the extensive NTU I&E ecosystem and provide the dedicated support to our student ventures. Because we know that many times the student ventures, they start with the very premature ideas, right? Yeah, so which may not be, substantial enough to attract the outside fundings. So going through, our academy, yeah, so we provide a hands-on mentoring, and also we give them, seed fundings. Yeah, so maybe small amount, but actually really motivate those students, to continue to develop their ideas and looking for resources, not just within NTU, but also beyond NTUs. So we see some, successful outcomes recently, because just the early March, we had this online joint pitch competition, between NTU and Oxford University. And the three teams from our student ventures, right? So after the joint pitch, and they received the interest from the industry partners and also the overseas investors. So we do see that it is a good sign, about having this student venture building initiative.
Very interesting. And if a student is watching this right now, thinking, I want to build something, what should they actually do in next 30 days?
In the next 30 days, So actually, to build something, many times it's quite important to have this, problem first mindset. Not just focusing on solutions. So of course, solution will come eventually, right? But actually, it's very important to understand what are the problems. Especially the problems matters not just to yourself, right? But to the wider community, to the society, the significant problem that you need to address. So we do see that, the successful startup companies, because they're solving the real world problem that matters to so many people, right? Matters to the consumers and matters to the customers. So starting from the problem, to have good understanding about what kind of problem you want to solve, and from there you look for the innovative solutions. Whether bringing the technologies or bring other resources into the space, right, to develop your ideas. But I would encourage the student to start with finding a good problem.
Interesting. Dr. Claire, let's do a quick rapid fire. Whatever comes to your mind, the first thought only. So if I have to ask you, safe job or risky startup?
You mean that the students?
Yes.
I guess that many times regarding the career development, it's really a personal preference, right? The personal choice, because every individual makes a decision based on their own situation. They have their own context. And so there is no right or wrong answers. Find the best pathway that suit yourself.
Okay. Since it is a rapid fire, you can quickly tell what comes to your mind first. Is it fail early or think longer?
Fail what?
Fail early or think longer?
Fail early or think longer. I think we need both, right? So don't be afraid of failure, because we know that it is for sure to happen along the process. But you really need the vision. You need the vision. You know where you're heading. But of course, also, we know that because of the changing landscape, right, a lot of uncertainties along the ways and new opportunities may come up as well. But you need something to start with. So if you identify your North Star, already, that is good. If not, probably don't be afraid of finding one. And also be prepared for failure. So understand that that is necessary for you to learn.
Interesting. And the final one, pitch deck or product first?
Pitch deck or product first? Depends, right? So if you have already developed the MVPs or the prototypes, right, you can demonstrate your effort using the product or the prototype. So if not, but I know that in many cases, like the Silicon Valleys, right, you fake it until you make it. So if you can get your idea, the investors or even your co-founders on board just based on ideas, that will be fascinating.
Interesting. So if we fast forward 10 years, right? So what kind of students do you hope universities like yours are producing?
I guess that even back in 10 years ago, even nowadays, or even in the future, right? For the university, we all want to develop to cultivate good citizens. Yeah, so with the right skills, with the right knowledge, with the right capabilities, and they can create value and they can contribute to the society one way or another, right? Whether by working as an accountant or an engineer or a startup founder, businessman, right? Yeah, but you're creating value. Yeah, you're creating value for yourself, for your family, and for the society. Yeah, so I guess this kind of objective will continue, yeah, to be the ultimate goal of universities.
Interesting. And finally, where can people follow your work or learn more from you?
Oh, yeah. So you can find me from NTU Entrepreneurship Academy, Nanyang Technological University, or find me on LinkedIn by searching Dr. Claire Bi Qing Qing.
Thank you very much. That was incredible. Thank you for your time on this. This was the fascinating conversation, especially around how entrepreneurship isn't just about building startups, but about how we think, take risks, and build trust in uncertain environments. Dr. Claire, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your insights. This was truly valuable.
Thank you for the invitation.
Great. And for everyone watching, if you have enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the Tracxn channel, and click on the bell icon so you don't miss our coming conversations. See you in the next episode of School to Startup.